The current spoiler warning level is Sunset.
Friends and folks, for this episode you're looking at a spoiler warning level of Sunset. Now please hear me out. Sunset is sort of the one to indicate that it's complicated and dangerous, right? Because we're starting out, we're talking about stuff from Double Zeta that I don't think is spoilery and is totally fine. And then we go to Turn A and we spoil Turn A, right? If you're a GGP listener, if you're a Great Gundam Project listener, still safe for you. Anyone, however, who hasn't seen Turn A, we talk about the very ending of Turn A, so that's significant. And then we talk about stuff from the Gundam Build series that is not super spoilery, but there are some like fun surprises and stuff that we reveal. So, just use your best judgment here. It's a tricky one. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mechanista in G, and for another normal roll of the die. I'm Six Detmar.
And I'm Dylan. Do we do anything normal here?
I mean, normal suits.
We've never covered normal suits. Honestly, I'm surprised no one's requested it.
We've never covered normal suits, but we've posted plenty of images that include people wearing normal suits.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of inevitable.
Yeah, in fact, it would be a pretty normal thing for us to do.
Ah, shit. I see what you've done here.
I've outmaneuvered you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why is... Oh, I see. It's on the other monitor. I was like, why is this being weird? I don't have a brain. Should borrow one of those sometime.
I only had a brain. I had to kill so many Wizard of Oz things because I was playing Symphony of the Night, and they hang out in the library where Shmoo is, and I wanted the Chrysogrim. So...
I know all of those words. What's a library? Okay, sure. How... Okay.
Oh, I need to get this pattern. Sorry, I was looking at GBO2 news while you were rolling, and I didn't notice they added this for, like, the limited mission. I can get wood grain.
Oh, that's fun.
Fucking wooden Zissa over here. I love that. Anyway.
Is there any way to make this hard?
Usually when you have to ask that, the answer is generally no, but we'll see.
Okay, well, we'll try this. There's some
the
part
capule
of the body. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's...
As I say, is there any way to make this hard? No. The answer is no.
I'm surprised we never covered this. That's so weird.
Yeah, the dice do what the dice do.
Yeah, no, it's just, But yeah, the capule. The capule. I mean, it's Kapool. It's weird, right? Because my brain wants to differentiate the Double Zeta Kapool from the Turn A Kapool, right? But it's...
Uh-huh.
It's hard to, because it's... Kapuru and then Kapuru. Like, one doesn't have the spacing between the puru. But, like, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, the Kapool.
Have we covered we haven't covered even the other Kapool, because
well, we would have to with this episode, because...
Right. I agree. I just, sometimes we do insane things, and I'm just checking.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, so the Kapool here is, we are talking about the Double Zeta version of the design that also appears in Unicorn. This will be a fun one because this has this has some weird stuff going on. So this is an Izubuchi design. This is an amphibious mobile suit. That was, I mean, it's clearly based on like the GOG, the High GOG, etc. I mean, it's not based on the High GOG IRL, I should say. The High GOG comes later. Though I imagine, honestly, given that this is Izubuchi designing an aquatic suit, after Double Zeta, when he's working on more in the pocket, he goes, oh, I could make a suit that's like, I could put this kind of like very rounded armor, like blue armor on a guy.
Uh-huh.
And he does that with the High GOG. The claws are the thing that are also kind of reminiscent of more the High GOG style rather than the regular.
Definitely.
But yeah. And this is a friend that everyone loves that Bandai has refused to do a kit for. This and honestly, both the Double Zeta and the Turn A version. I mean, people love this thing.
I wonder if there's some reason.
Because it's a fun guy that's shaped like a friend. So, to describe this machine, its main body is an orb. Normally, I would describe the head separately. However, the head is part of the torso, basically. This is an orb. The top of the head is, like a semicircle. It's got several little, bumps along the top of it, along with a circular cutout. The circular cutout is used in Double Zeta and in Turn A as both an external, sort of I guess you could think of it like a periscope mono eye, because it can pop up, and also the cockpit hatch is right below that. So you can also enter and exit from there.
Yeah, it'd be tricky to use it as a periscope because you'd let water in.
Well, no. There's a cockpit door, though, too.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Turn A one has that door there, is the thing that's kind of funny. Because whenever we see it in Turn A, it just pops up and is open, I think. But in Double Zeta, you can see, I think this is Taman here, you can see that there's a door back there with the little Neo Xeon emblem. You can see the
way,
hinges.
Yeah, the way it's drawn, we'll get to it in a second. So, just quickly, the way it's drawn in Turn A, I don't think there is.
Yeah, which, that's fair. Sometimes there are a few other differences, such as, there's a big size discrepancy with these suits, if I remember right, also, between the Turn A and the Double Zeta version. I can't remember if that's also true, but I'm pretty sure the Turn A one is, shorter. So yeah, underneath the semicircle armor above, though, you have just a big gap where a mono eye can be seen there. The mono eye can rotate around. Probably not 360 because the back generally stays tucked in, but, around this front area, can go left and right. The sides of... So, the torso, I guess I should describe it, it's less like a ball and more like, when it's like this, it's an open ball. It's a ball that is popped open. So, you have, two sections of chest armor on the left and right that are, circular door parts, basically, that are now open. And then you have more armor underneath that is also kind of popped open in a very door-like shape. And you have lots of... So on the outer armor, you've got these little square vents, and on the inner armor, you've got a bunch of missile tubes. There are technically, let's see, how many? 8. Yes, 8 missile tubes. And those are mounted there in the torso. The back of the torso, since there's not really a backpack, you just got more of a circle with more little, extra... I like these little, armor bumps. It kind of reminds me of, when you see a frog, the skin texture on a frog, having the little bumps like that. Or on more of a toad, I guess. The taxonomy of frogs and toads is its own whole can of worms we will not be getting into. Anyway, the back of the torso, though, it does have a big circular, what would be a separate backpack, I guess you could think of, but not really because it's part of the armor. It's just the way it's separated. You can see that there are 4 thrusters that are going... They're in sort of a diagonal around a central circle thruster that's just pointing directly backwards, and the diagonal ones are pointing semi-outward with them.
Uh-huh.
And then moving on to the arms, the shoulder armor, if you want to call it that, is the sides of the circles on the torso have popped up and are now just operating as the shoulder armor, just these big, circles that are popped up over the arms. The arms themselves are very rounded. They have an extra layer of, lighter blue armor that has, the Izubuchi kind of bolt thing going on, where it's the circle with the little handle line inside of it. And then it's got some, nice grating on the base of it. You also have, an outer vernier on the shoulder. Though these might all be water jets, now that I think about it, because this is an aquatic suit, so I don't even know if these are technically verniers. I guess they still call them that, but... they're for use underwater.
Uh-huh.
The arms, though. So the arms are fun. The underneath material for most of the arm is like a long, I imagine like a semi-elastic kind of like, or semi-like bendable metal that has a cable running down the whole length of it on the front and back as well. But you've got like this gray piece underneath that's like thin and looks like it's a little bendy. So some kind of like malleable metal, I have to imagine, for that. And then around the bicep, you've got a couple of different sections of armor. You get a total of 3 of them, and then you have one before the waist, or sorry, before the wrist, not the waist, the wrist. And the arm can tuck in, it can like, you know, collapse in, or it can stretch out, as can be seen in the production art here, where the right arm is extended and the left arm is collapsed. The hand at the end of the arm, you've got like a big piece for the hand at the end that then has 3 large claws and then 2 smaller thumb claws on the underside, which is kind of fun. For a total of 5 claws. That, I believe... Oh, nope, they are not heated. These are just iron nails. 3 large claws, 2 small claws. They do apparently have like a movable frame structure underneath them, so they are like reinforced. And they can cut through armor because of that, so they are strong. Then moving on to the waist. You've got a little waist joint that has... It's almost like a belt going around, so... You've got this main emitter here, and this will be for one of the weird things, the sonic blast. And then going around that, you just have cables running around the sides. They have these little, I guess, junctions on the side that they are connected into for the cable, and then you've got one more of those little ones on the back. And then the side skirts are also just parts of the circle that are just popped open. And then you've got a frontal piece of waist armor that is just down and has a bunch of these little... I presume these are just vents of some sort, because they're not counted among the verniers, I don't think so. I think these are just like vents. They just have red lining on them. Then on the crotch below, you've got a series of 3 thrusters, one on the very... Or no, 4 thrusters, sorry. You got one pointing down and forward, one pointing directly downward, one on the back of the waist, and then one on the direct facing backwards of the waist rather than an angle. For the legs have a kind of similar idea going on as the arm, though instead of having gray internal parts, it's all blue. But you can see that there are several different like outer armor layers, and the legs look like, given the design of these outer armors that are like wrapped around, they look collapsible. Which, well, we know they are because we have a transformation we will talk about with this machine. And then for the lower legs, though, you've got a big bell-bottom kind of design going on. The rear, like, ankle area, you have 2 really large thrusters on poking out of the back of the bell-bottom there. And then the feet have an interesting design. The base of the foot is very, like, Zaku-esque, or very just, like, Zeon Suit-esque. You've got, like, a base foot part that has this little cover protecting some cables and machinery, but then instead of just, like, a toe on the front, you've got these, like, little side toes, a front set of, like, double toes that are kind of long, and then a rear heel that pops down as well. So, like, the base of the foot starts off normal, but then it's got a bunch of these, like, weird little toes that are just pointing, like... One on each side, one on the heel, and then 2 on the front. And yeah, that's the Kapool. It's a weirdo. Trying to think of like... Unfortunately, the wiki is actually missing some stuff, so I'm going into my collection of art so I can grab us some sete here. Because there's some sete that are missing here. From both the wiki and MAHQ, which they might be kind of obscure, but I'm going to grab them regardless. This guy's a friend. I like it.
It's a great design. It is pretty distinct. I mean, like, this is, you know, why it becomes one of the designs chosen to reappear in Turn A, is because though you can see it as like a clear part of the lineage of like Zeon aquatic mobile suits, it's so much more of like a critter than those are.
Yeah, no, a critter is a good way to describe this guy. It is definitely more of a critter. Oh, that's funny. It doesn't show up in this book. This book's in alphabetical. I'm looking in the Newt Type 100% collection Double Zeta Perfect edition, and it's an alphabetical, and I'm looking at the Kaz, and there's no Kapool. It's Isaac to Gaza D to the Gazelle and the Gazar and the Gazelm. Oh no, there's the Kapool. Okay, for some reason I was thinking it would be before the Gaz, and that's why I was confused, but no, it's alphabetical, but Ga and Ka are in the same order. Okay. Well, that means I can show off something, which is...
Please.
The beam eye. So that I mentioned that it's got the little mono eye when it pops up. I forgot that it also has a little beam in there that I can fire. So it's nicknamed the beam eye. It has a low output, but it can destroy a main camera. So it can be used like defensively, I guess is maybe the way, or like as a support weapon.
Yeah, or not to shoot mobile suits, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you just need to burn someone's house, I bet it would work just fine.
Yeah. So, the interesting thing that comes out of these notes that I have right here, this set, I'm just going to post the whole thing because it's easier than the sections. These little blisters on top, like the little rounded parts, these are air ducts that can pop open and like ventilate heat that has accumulated in the armor. You can see,
Gotcha.
You can see it up there, popped open. It just mentions air duct. Then, so it mentions that the funny labeling includes these parts right here at the base of the shoulder. It says vernier right there. I'm wondering if it's actually trying to count that's underneath that you just can't see.
Yeah.
It does label these as the missiles. It doesn't label that Sonic Blast, and the Sonic Blast is like a weird things. It doesn't, I'm 99% certain it doesn't come up in Double Zeta. It definitely doesn't come up in Unicorn. And it's weird. It's like some of the games will use it, like Gundam Battle Operation, or no, Gundam Battle Universe uses it. And it's trying to like give a function to this crotch piece that is otherwise unlabeled, like in this original art.
Does it like come up in like Mirage of Xeon or some shit?
Maybe, but the thing with it though is that depending on the depiction, the way it works in like Gundam Battle Universe is that it's like a really short range like blast basically, and it does a lot of damage, and that's basically it, is those. But we mentioned all the other equipment. The missiles are the main thing that tend to come up, and the Iron Nail. I don't even think it really uses the I-beam in the show.
No.
You can.
I do like the detail that the Sonic Blast is like water cooled, and it just takes in seawater and holds it in a storage tank to use to cool the beam cannon. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because that's always been kind of the excuse for why the Xeon aquatic suits actually use like these high power beam weapons, right? Is that they're operating in water, so they don't have to care about overheating in the same way. I've always found that a fun conceit. So you can see here all the doors closed. If you look on the right, that's its transformation mode. That's like for going through the water. I feel like an orb is not necessarily the best shape for water personally, but whatever. The arms collapse inward. You can see it flap. It has the flap open here, but obviously you can close them, so the torso is just an orb. The legs collapse down, and then it uses the two thrusters on the back of the legs to kind of just propel itself through the water, along with the back thrusters.
It can, of course, when we see this in the show, it also closes the arms.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It has it open in that art, but you could just have them completely collapse, so it's just a ball.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the Kapool. I mean, it shows up. It's during the early. It's like the one earlier part of the Earth arc, if I'm remembering right. And Tamon is given it. He is not actually. He's like an agent for Neo Zeon, but he's not actually like he's not from space. He's from a fishing village on Earth, and they gave him the Kapool, in order to attack the Nahel Argama. There's also what
is happening in this picture?
Show me.
So I wanted to post this because I was like, also we can see it, moving around with just the chest armor closed. I'm like, that's kind of cool. And then it shoots 2 beams out of these vents. What are those?
Band-Aid...
Oh, no, sorry. Suds shoots 5 beams.
Band-Aid Destiny goes with it having beams in the chest. Now, one could argue that maybe in the unicorn version of it, they've given it an upgrade of some sort when it was retrofit.
I guess that's possible.
The other one I want to mention is from the Double Zeta side story Mirage of Xeon manga that came out in 2007. There's a character named Phaeton Rahu Algus? Or Argus?
Uh-huh.
And he uses a silver painted one that we don't have any images of. I was looking around, but no. And then that manga image you posted is Band-Aid Destiny, which this got updated unicorn art. There's not really anything of note different in the actual art. Like, it's clearly drawn by Hajime Kotoki at a later time, but the colors are a bit different. Mm-hmm. It's a bit more desaturated, but otherwise, you've got your missile tubes. You got everything, makes sense for what it is. Just a bit more contrast between the blues, whereas here it's like a dark blue and a slightly lighter blue. Here it's like a very, almost gray blue and then dark blue.
Yeah, I don't like the missile tubes as much, but...
You don't like it when they have the black in there?
I don't think it... I mean, it just doesn't pop the same way. I also, it's also part of the more dull color scheme, the desaturation. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Alright. So that's the Kapool. Does it have any variants or anything in First Gundam? I'm trying to... Or in UC shows. Just trying to see some stuff. Does it do anything cool in Unicorn, really? I mean, oh, right. It does. I do like when it smashes the head of the Aqua Gym when it pops out of the water and just squashes it, which is fun. That's fun.
I like the image right before that because, oh no, what's that thing called? I have to. What's this thing called? Oh, okay, there. I got the. It looks like it's doing a Kabedon.
Oh yeah, we actually see 2 of these because one gets owned at the beginning in Dakar because it's with the Juagu,
and shows and it gets owned in a way that's not how beam sabers work.
Yeah, it's weird that it's just sticking out. But yeah, it gets killed, and then another one appears. That one kind of gets used as a human shield by the Beerlink Custom, the second one. It grabs it and uses it to block the Zagok's various boomerangs. So not a great outing for these friends. All right.
No, I mean they got the Aqua Gym.
Yeah.
We'll always have that.
So then we have the Kapool from... This is probably the more well-known one. This is the one from Turn A Gundam. Which, let's grab that.
Yeah, we said it earlier, but just to highlight, the difference in Japanese is it's Kapuru versus Kapuru. It's just like, yep, we cut a vowel. We made it a little bit shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those ones where it's like, okay, this is phonetically basically the same word.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so the Kapool from Turn A is a little weird. The height of the original one was 16.5 meters. The height of the Kapool in Turn A is 14 meters. For whatever reason, they just kind of wanted to shrink it a bit.
I mean, to make it a cuter little friend.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. The reason it's also funny is you can actually kind of tell in the art, because I think that they kept the little lid on top the same size as in the older art, because it looks a little bigger in the Turn A art, especially also it might also just be an illusion because of the mono eye. But I'm wondering if they left that the same size, basically. The rest of it has been slightly miniaturized. So yeah, it's a simpler version of the design. The colors are mostly for the default ones, there's a variant we'll talk about later, but The default ones we tend to see in this green color. It's like a very pale green. You know what it reminds me of? This is like Zaku 2, like when you're seeing first Gundam art kind of green. Like, you know, that kind of light green.
Yeah.
There's a couple of simpler details. It loses some of the detail on the shoulder there. It loses the vernier on the shoulder. Still has the missile tubes in the chest. Still has the little belt. Still has the thrusters around. Funnily, this makes the inside of the leg armor gray now, so that has, like, more internal detail feeling, which is kind of funny. And, yeah, so this is used in Turn A Gundam by quite a few characters. Soshi uses it one, Miyashie mentions... Who's Michael again? Oh, yeah, Michael Gurn. Okay, yeah, the Inglesa guy. John... One of the Borgeron pilots.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad dudes.
And it's a cute design. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is it's ultimately cute. It uses the same overall weapons. It has the 8 tubes of missiles. It's got the Sonic Blast. It's got the Iron Nail. It does have a few other little weapons that it does use throughout the show. Though one of these I wouldn't necessarily count. Like, when it...
Yes, one of these, yeah.
When it mentions the anti-aircraft gun, I'm like, that just lifted up a truck that has an anti-aircraft gun on it. That's like a separate vehicle that it has picked up to use. The other...
Yeah, it doesn't really count.
The other weapon is... I'm trying to see if I can find a good picture of it with it. Funnily, the render of it for the Extreme Versus games has them. It has these little wrist guns that get added on. Oh yeah, you can see it on the right arm there, which are just like, it's like a 3-barrel. They call them handguns. These are not handguns because.
Well, they call it a handgun because it's attached to the hand. I think they're just doing a dumb.
They're doing a dumb bit. Okay, yeah. And yeah, it's just these like weird little 3-barrel autocannons on the hands. And then at one point it borrows the Gundam hammer, and I'm like, that you can't count that. That's just I get it. It is a weapon that it used, but you know, like, I feel like those sections are meant to detail, like, I don't know, weapons that are like unique. But whatever. Anyway. Yeah, and it's the Kapool. I mean, everyone loves this thing. This is a very popular guy that Bandai has refused to ever capitalize on, except for in a weird way that we will talk about, but people are sad about it, especially because they technically made a runner that has labeling for it.
It would not be the right thing to do. Like, thematically. This was not the kind of show it was, and it shouldn't be. But I am sad there is no Sochieheim custom.
Yeah. There is...
I don't care that it would be bad. I just want that to exist.
One custom we do see that I do want to mention, just because it doesn't get its own article, is we do see a worker version of it that has replaced the arms.
Oh, the construction arms?
Yeah. With little construction arms. It's only seen in a
platform.
It's only seen in like one specific scene, but you can see it there. There it is.
It's cute.
All right, so then this has a few of its own variants. The one in Turn A being the Corin Nander custom, which is a lot. So Corin's custom Kapool. Let's grab that. Okay, you got it. It's a custom red Kapool with the horn, because of course it's doing that. Funnily, early on when we see it, it doesn't get the horn until later. I don't think it gets the horn until it's explicitly fighting with... Yeah, the final episode when it's fighting against the Turn X. That's really funny. Earlier, it just didn't have the horn in its scenes. You can see there's no horn. And in other little bits from that episode. So, besides the color change, the other changes, if you look at the right arm, you'll notice that, well, it starts off as the Kapool arm. It has a huge hand on the right arm. This is a really big hand. This is for carrying other, like, armaments, specifically the one that can be seen here, the Minchi drill. So that the smaller, more diminutive Kapool could still use that as a weapon, because Corin wanted to keep using it. That's his weapon that the E-Gale had as well. It's the big drill that has, like, the vibrating... It's technically supposed to be a tunnel boring device, so, like, this rotates and, like, these wiggle to break through wall, but he uses it as a weapon.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah. I guess the other armament is that the hand that can be used can also be launched. It has a thruster in it. And this is
it's a rocket punch.
Yeah, this is used in the final episode when he rocket punches the Turn X right before getting destroyed.
That's fucking cool.
It is cool. This machine's great. I mean, it's the funny, cute little guy, but it's in red with a horn, and it has a giant hand that holds a big drill. Funnily, the hand design, what it reminds me of is, specifically with how big it is, it reminds me of the hand that gets thrown onto... Now, it's not the same hand, but it reminds me, just an idea, of the hand that gets thrown onto, like, the Juagu and stuff, when they want to have the Juagu.
I can see it.
Because that way the Juagu can use big handheld weapons, and they give it a big hand instead. And that's just kind of what it is reminiscent of to me when they give it the big hand. And so that's Corin's Kapool, and that's basically it for the Kapools as they appear in Turn A Gundam. However, we do get another Kapool later on. Well, two other ones, I guess I should say. The first one being the Momokapool from Gundam Build Divers. This is used by...
Critter Status Maximum.
Yeah, so this is used by Momo, who is one of the characters. Her full name is Momoka Yashiro. And it's an even more diminutive Kapool. This one is only 12.8 meters tall, so it smalls parts of the Kapool even more. This is the one that they made the model of that has runners that are regular Kapool parts. This is why people are like, please Bandai, release one, because they clearly had a runner that was devoted to Kapool parts. The head has been changed from a mono eye to having two eyes. Still has the little, like, bumpies on top, though they are even bigger, though that might also be a consequence of making the rest of the armor even smaller. The main chest part in the middle has omitted the missiles for having now a white chest, and it has a little beak ornamentation, like just a little triangle on the top of it. Makes this resemble kind of a weird little penguin.
It's penguin themed. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Which makes the other one we're going to be talking about...
It's got the tuxedo, too.
Yeah, it's going to make the other one we're talking about even funnier, because it's like, wait a minute. The armor on the outside is the same, though. This chest armor on the outside is the same. It's just the inner part is changed to, be like the little tuxedo. The shoulder armor has been kind of reduced a little bit. The little arms, the shoulder parts are simplified even more. There's no venting or anything on them. And the arm joints are shortened, so instead of having room for 3 of those armor segments, it only has 2 of those armor segments. Still has the wiggly arms, though, that are still extendable. And the ends of the hands, we've got, instead of 5 claws, we've got 3 big yellow fingers and 2 little yellow thumbs. So it still has, like, the same hand thing going on. They are now rounded, so they no longer have the same offensive capabilities. But it has the destructive power of a wing slap from a penguin now. It also adds little beam cannons into the fingers, so that's the other little benefit. You can see the little holes at the end of each of the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got... The belt has been simplified. It's a simpler little barrel in there. It's got just, like, these gray tubes going around. They kind of go underneath the torso to go with the reduction of the waist size. The waist is very reduced in size, almost just being like a half circle with 2 holes in it, and then it's got a little, like, a single vernier on the back. The thighs are very tiny, just single armor pieces that are rounded. They have a bit of an opening for where they plug into the waist. The lower leg armor is much more simplified. It still has, like, the weird kind of open design plan of the prior legs where they're, like, flayed open at the ends like that. Or splayed, I should say, not flayed. Splayed open on each of the corners. Then you've got more inner frame visible, and instead of having a huge foot, you've got, like, little pegs that are connected into little flippers. And the little flippers got little cutouts in them near to the end, like little penguin toe flipper cutouts. And then, yeah, that's it. The belly beam, it now has a belly beam instead of a sonic blast. It is apparently quite strong. It mentions that it can obliterate most Gunpla in one shot. And I mean, we do see it in use, and it is a big beam, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also...
So it's not playing around.
The Hyper Belly Beam, which is used by... There's a repaint of the Momokapool in Gundam Build Fighters Re-Rise, which I'm so sad that this never got a kit, because I would buy this in a heartbeat. I love these colors.
It's good colors. It does sacrifice the color pattern.
Yeah, it does, but it's also really cute.
It is still really cute. It's true.
So yeah, it has the Hyper Belly Beam, which it now fires a more scattered beam that has a wider radius. It has special equipment, though, that we can talk about. It has, hiding inside of it, the Petitkapool. Which, do we have art of that on here? No.
I've only got screenshots.
Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna pull up the little piece of it that comes with the Gunpla. Yeah, so it has almost like a little guy inside of it piloting it. It's just a little, an even smaller Kapool. Momoka came up with the gimmick after seeing a box within a box, like with a Gunpla box, someone having a box inside of a box, and was like, oh, I could do that. So it can operate as an escape pod or a petite mobile suit for movement purposes. It does have little claws at the end that it can scratch with. It's not really made to be the active mobile suit, though. But it is very cute. I like when she wins in the one episode, they do a little V for victory. Oh, you can see it scratching in that other image you linked also. It pops out of the top, kind of
it's
the way the pilot
so
does.
cute.
It's so good. This is such a good gimmick. I love the little Petitkapool. The other thing that's going on with it is it has a special equipment called the Penguin Research, which is named after the band who did, I think it's either the opening or the ED to Build Divers Re-Rise. So they named it after the band. And it emits a yellow beam that gathers data on the opponent machines, and it can share them with allies, hence Penguin Research. Oh, it's doing a little kick there. I love that little guy. I love this little guy so much. Sometimes the thing that was made to just be cute is really cute, and it's good.
I do really like, because its feet are now like the little flippers. It has the kind of attack you would expect them to give it, right, given its design, which is a rolling attack, but then the flippers basically just become like a blade.
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
Which is fun, yeah. And then they do mention, I don't think they have any images of it, but they have it from the game, the Infinity Shot, which is when they eject the Petitkapool and then have the 00 Sky just punt it.
It's so good.
At people.
I love the little mean face it's making. The little guy is aggressive. Oh, interesting. In 2018, I didn't know about this one, actually. They did a special Hong Kong version of this suit. I kind of like these colors on it. That's fun.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know they did that. I think it was probably only sold in Hong Kong is the thing. So.
Do we have art of the R&R?
R&R?
We do. Thank you, MAHQ. Thank you, Chris.
What is the R&R?
This is from Metaverse.
Oh, I still haven't watched Metaverse. Oh. Oh! Oh, it's become a mutant!
Yeah, it's got a even stretchier long right arm and then bunny ears.
It's got the bunny ears from the other one we're going to talk about, which is from Gundam Breaker Mobile. So Gundam Breaker Mobile decided, well, what if instead of making it a penguin, it's a very simple one to talk about, it's just the in-game graphic, we make it into a bunny. It still has the penguin theming, though. It's just the only difference is they added bunny ears to it. I still like the Sanakapool, don't get me wrong, but... Oh, we do actually have some art of it from it. Here's the pilot with it. And then there's this little card of it here. It's just a funny little guy. Sometimes a funny little guy is all you need, and you like it. It's not the cooler Sana suit, but it's a fun one. Because Sana, of course, uses the one that I still really like that I wish they had done a kit of. We talked about it a long while back during the F91 episode, but her later machine is the Gundam Valkyrie, the weird F91 with the sort of doing Psycho Frame stuff.
I mean, I think most of her designs are good. She's got better sensibility than the fucking protagonist.
Let me see. What else does she use?
She's got the Artemis and she's got the Dianthus, and they're both like...
Oh, she uses the Artemis later. Okay, the Artemis was originally... Oh, does she use it before Ryusei gets it? I don't remember the story of Gundam Breaker Mobile, because even though I played that all the way until that game died, I skipped all the story segments because I didn't care.
Oh,
right, and the Perfect Strike Freedom is also hers, which is from Gundam Breaker Battlelog, yeah.
So she, yeah, it is something that she makes and then gives it to the protagonist she lends it to him, and it's like, oh, you seem good with it, you can keep it. Okay. Is what happens with the Artemis. Okay. And then the Dianthus is just, a Gundam Breaker design, but it's a good one. Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah, no, it's ooh, I'm trying to look at that. Is that head the X Divider head?
It's you're gonna be okay. Let's see.
It's the X Divider backpack.
It is the X Divider head, X Divider backpack, and then the other stuff is Ale Strike.
Oh, and then the arms are also X Divider, and then the legs and the torso are Ale Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool. It's a it's just cool. A kit bash, but it's a cool one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our surprisingly quick coverage of the Kapool might be done. Yeah. Kind of a quick one, even though it's like a big fan favorite. But I mean, I like it. There's just not much to say sometimes, It's like, yeah, this one design exists in a vacuum, and it's really cool and cute, and I like it.
And we all wish we could buy kits of it, and we can't.
And we can't, other than the little one, which is fine. I do like it, don't get me wrong. I used to be a little more bitter towards the Sanakapool, because I'm like, no, I want the real one, but I like it. It is cute. Bandai, make more plastic for us to buy. Alright, with that, 6. Where can people find you and your work online?
You can find me on Blue Sky 6.scanlinemedia.com, and you can find my work at scanline.com or patreon.com/scanlinemedia, and you can talk to us over on the Scanline Media Discord. There's a link down in the show notes if you want to request things, or just talk about Gunpla with us, or talk about other things. We talk about a lot of stuff on there. I feel like the most active channel is probably the Sunday Henshin Time one, where we're talking about Kamen Rider and Super Sentai all the time, but
Mm-hmm. All right, and
because those are good.
I'm Low Poly Robot. You can find me. I'm Dylan. I go by Low Poly Robot. You can find me on Blue Sky at Low Poly Robot, where I mostly just post game stuff. I had recently played through. I posted some builds because I actually got some new models, which was nice. And then I was posting. I just started playing a Koei RPG from. This is the PS2 remake of a PS1 game. It's called Zil-Ol. Zil-Ol is, I think, how that's pronounced. There's a lot of different versions of it, and The original one was a PS1 game that never was translated or brought over here. They then made a remake on the PS2 in 2009. It's a late PS2 game too, which is interesting because 2009 is kind of a... there's two PS2 ones. There's Infinite and Infinite Plus. That might be why. Okay, that's why the dates are a little wonky. Okay. The original release was 2005, and then Infinite Plus is a PSP port of the PS2 game, I think. That's funny.
Sure.
And then they did a prequel in 2010 for the PS3 that was actually released, which is weird that you would release the prequel, but none of the other games. But anyway, it got a translation, though, and I was like, hey, I should try that. And then I read reviews of it, and they made me feel like I was going crazy. Because...
Yeah?
The reviews are like... This is from Tokyo Game Show in 1998. Console Plus said it was detailed and remarked on its superb cutscenes. And then in 2000, Christian Nutt of GameSpot gave it a 4.8 out of 10 and said it's Koei's Final Fantasy with a little original content and mediocre. New Zealand station said it was highly unoriginal and a straight ripoff of Final Fantasy, and saying thankfully it didn't make it to local shores, which is really weird because it seems like it's decently loved in Japan. Like, or at least decently liked enough that they've remade it 3 times, Koei did. So it's one of those things where I read those reviews, and then I was also playing it, and I'm like, this gameplay does not feel like a Final Fantasy other than it's a turn-based JRPG, which... It's not active time battle, it's turn-based. So... Question mark? I just think games writers, or, journalists of those eras, are dumb and bad. And I mean, there's a lot of dumb and bad journalists throughout many eras, but man... When... It makes me feel crazy sometimes when I read old reviews, and it's just like... This game is just like this other game, and I'm like, this game is nothing like this. Some people I know that have opinions I trust said it feels more equivalent to like a Saga game than a Final Fantasy game. Which, yes, the Saga Game Boy games were released as Final Fantasy games in the West, but they didn't play like Final Fantasy games.
No, they did not.
So, that it's... Anyway, that's just me getting on my soapbox. I feel bad because I know it's blasé to get mad about people's opinions from 20 years ago or whatever, but look, sometimes you just hold a chip on your shoulder for the way that people talked about games you like. It's like how, yeah, I'm glad people liked Armored Core 6. I'm still going to be mad at how many people were dismissive of Armored Core for 20 years of me being a fan of the series. I can't help it. That's just how I am.
I guess so.
Anyway, yeah. I was just posting about that, though. It's a cool little game thus far. I've only played about 10 minutes before I had to record Mechanista, but I was like, hey, I vibe with this battle system, and I'll have to see how this goes later on.
So hang on, you've played 10 minutes, and you're going after critics who've definitely played more than that.
Okay, yes, but I've already done I already have played through several battles and a boss battle. I think I can at least determine that calling it a Final Fantasy ripoff feels insane to me. Just from that alone. Also,
you're gonna boot
also
it back
uses
up after
a class
this,
system,
and immediately...
which at that time, none of the Final Fantasies that anyone played used those kind of like a customizable class system. Because 3 and 5 did not have.
You're gonna boot this up, and 5 minutes, like after this, you're gonna boot this up, and in 5 minutes, they're gonna be like the crystals, and it'll be like fuck.
That wouldn't make me go Final Fantasy either. There's plenty of... I played Dragon... I am more likely to call something out as being a Dragon Quest clone than a Final Fantasy clone. Because Dragon Quest is more important than Final Fantasy. But...
Okay, there are crystals in Dragon Quest, but like... I feel like the idea of like the magic elemental crystal powering a kingdom is a Final Fantasy thing.
So far there hasn't been crystals. There's been a demon awoke the Dragon King, which that to me is more Dragon Quest. When someone's like, the Dragon King is going to cause chaos in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get the feeling when a game is really beloved among its like little niche and gets several re-releases, that maybe a couple of Western guys in the year 2000 saying, oh, this is a Final Fantasy ripoff and isn't worth anyone's time, maybe they're wrong, is just how I go.
They're probably wrong, but you pick fights like you breathe, and you could at least wait till you've played the game.
I mean, to be fair, seeing that kind of dismissive review and then seeing that it was, like, decently liked in Japan is why I picked it up in the first place. Because I was
Sure,
I can be preemptively annoyed by how people talk about a thing.
Oh, I know.
I think most people
You do it
can
a lot.
be. To be fair, I think that that applies to a lot of people on social media. Let's be real. I just don't think I'm being controversial in saying that I think a lot of games writers and critics of those eras had bad opinions. More often than not, I feel like I'm vindicated with that.
Sure. I just, there's a 50% chance at the end of any given episode that you're going to pick a fight with someone, and I'm just observing that.
I don't... to be fair, I usually wait until we're off the mic to pick a fight.
Like, that's fair. The listener might think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, listeners might think you're crazy. People think I'm... This is the difference between hanging out with me in voice chats and then hanging out with me on... I don't openly pick fights when I'm on, like, social media and whatnot. People probably think people that are more mild-mannered than I am are more fight pickers than me, which is really funny, because I do get mad, but I keep it to my friends, because I assume my friends don't mind hearing about it. Thank you very much, Six.
We just worry about your tendency to pick fights sometimes,
I mean, these people don't matter. I don't think they still write anymore, even.
I don't give a shit about them.
Oh, okay. See, I thought the reason I'm picking the fight with them is because they're people who don't matter, probably, who wrote 20 years ago, and to be fair, they might be ashamed of their words and deeds from 20 years ago. Whomst amongst us isn't, but I can be mad at it crystallized as it is in a review that I read.
Sure, we should close out this podcast,
Yes.
But what I am trying to say is more that I just don't think being upset all the time is good for people.
I'm not like truly upset about it in a way that's like ruining my day. I just read it and was like, oh, that's kind of stupid. And the problem with me is then I start overthinking it after the fact, because to be fair, I don't...
Yes, that is the problem with you.
I don't think it's good to have idle thoughts that you don't elaborate on. I think that if you have an opinion like, oh, I think this writing was stupid, you should sit down and then start to figure out, why do you think this writing is stupid? What are your reasons for it? Come up with a defense. I just am like that. I don't know. I'm brain broke. I'm just like that. I can't help it. I don't think it's bad, though. It's not like I'm out here picking fight. Look, no one's ever yelling at me on social media. We have friends who get yelled at a lot, and they're way more mild-mannered than I am. I don't get yelled at.
Listeners, if I don't respond, Dylan will just keep digging.
I'm not digging! I'm just trying to explain. Alright, whatever. Peace.
I love you, buddy. Peace.